I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to everybody's question. I'm going to try my best right now to read some social media questions. I feel terrible that we're not able to do it, but let me see if I can try to read as many as I can very quickly here. I'm going to ask myself the question. I'm going to, like we did from the pandemic, from my dining room. Let's see what we got here. My PS has a question. My immigrant visa IR1 interview was scheduled at the U.S. Embassy before February 24th, 2020, but canceled due to medical reasons. Does public charge rule apply to my case when I go for the interview the next time? Yes, it does, unfortunately. Knit D on YouTube has a question. Hi, Brad. Is it possible to submit my civil documents, my police certificate, at the time of the interview since the officers are not working as usual? No, you got to give all your civil documents to the National Visa Center, or they're not going to forward everything to the U.S. Embassy. Cardo Simmons, hey Brad, what's the B1, B2 visa for when you're in America? That's a tourist visa. You're coming to visit. The B2 is you're truly a visitor, like you're going to Disney World. A B1 is a visitor for business. You're coming for a business meeting, but you're not actively working in the United States of America. Naja Danishars has a question. Hi, Brad. I'm an LPR. I got married on March 20th, 2018. My husband's case is pending at the National Visa Center. By the time he gets his interview, we'll be married for more than 2 years. Will he get a 2-year or a 10-year? He's going to get a 10-year no matter what, because you only get a 2-year green card when you're married to a U.S. citizen less than 2 years. You automatically get a 10-year green card married to a lawful resident. Lilith Katchuran. Hi, Brad. Thank you for your show. From November 2019, no response from USCIS, California. Filer I-45. Marriage-based interview was long, 2 hours, but it was normal. After 120 days, no response. I think I spoke with you on the phone. I said, if you had a 2-hour interview and there was they stoked you right off the top, it sounds like your case is under investigation. I would suggest you contact a lawyer. Naja Denishar, hi Brad, I'm an LPR. I got married on March 30th, 2018. My husband's case is pending at the National Visa Center. By the time he gets his interview, he will be married for more than 2 years. Will he get, I answered that. Yes, he's going to get a 10-year card. Marita Crawford, my husband has a 2-year green card. Can he file for his daughter in Jamaica? As long as the daughter is unmarried, you do not have to be a lawful permanent resident to file. You can file with a conditional green card. Nikki Lee, hi Mr. Bernstein, I have a quick question. Is it possible for a U.S. citizen to file for a spouse and not live in the United States but pay your taxes? A U.S. citizen can file for a spouse who's living in another country, but that spouse doesn't have to pay U.S. taxes because that spouse is not a lawful permanent resident. So you don't have to include the spouse on the taxes. Only have to include the spouse on the taxes if they're physically in the United States. Dedicated to success. Are interviews being done for adjustments? Yes, they are. We're getting scheduled interviews both at 26 Federal Plaza and Holtzville, New York, and around the country for August. So interviews are happening. Island 26, hey Brad, does the death of my American citizen spouse negatively affect the processing of my I-45 application? Do I need to inform USCIS about the death or wait for the interview? Yeah, unfortunately it does, but your case transfers to a widow petition. So as long as you can prove it's a bona fide marriage, you bring the death certificate to the interview. And then they're still going to interview you. I would suggest you contact immigration ahead of time and let them know that your spouse passed away and that to convert your case to a widow petition or a widower petition. Nikki Lee, Brad, as a U.S. citizen, can I file for my spouse? I answered that question with the taxes. Support to Children has a question. Hello, I'm applying for an N400 on a 5-year green card. I divorced my husband and I'm now remarried to someone else. Do I answer the marriage questions as married, or do they only refer to the 3-year green card application? You still have to answer all the questions on the N400. Are you married, divorced, married, whatever it may be, but you don't have to prove anything about a bona fide marriage because you're basing it on 5 years. Let's see what else we have here. Last question here. The Beyonce and Jay-Z fan page has a question. Hi, Brad. I applied for asylum last month. When will you think I'll get an interview? I think it's going to be very fast, and within a few months, you'll get an interview. Let's jump over to Facebook and see what immigration questions we have on Facebook. Anne-Marie Durham with a question. Hi, Brad. I came here legally on vacation, but September 11th, terrorist attack occurred. I was scared to travel by plane to return to my country. I've been here 19 years now. Is there any recourse? Sounds like you need a consultation, and maybe you were scared to return home in 2001, but what's the excuse for 2002 through 2019? Not that I'm coming down on you, but, you know, that excuse was out the door 18 years ago. But is there hope for you? Yeah, we'll try to figure it out. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what else we have here. Marge Higgs, just with a comment. And Pat Ego with a question. Hello, Brad. My name is Sheba Ego, and I'm an American citizen, and my husband is Nigerian and working in Dubai. Our I-130 was approved and is at the embassy. While waiting the embassy, there's another option or visa I can apply for while waiting for the I-130 to get him to the States faster. Well, first of all, if he's Nigerian, there's a Nigerian ban for immigrant visas. So what I would suggest is a K3 visa to allow him to come here and then adjust here. Other than that, he's not going to get here, even from Dubai at the present time. But there's no ban on K3 visas. Princess Wilson. Uncle Brad, I've been asking this question for 3 days. Well, you're going to get an answer right now, Princess Wilson. What can I do, if anything, if I'm a non-resident alien living in the Virgin Islands and haven't received one single tax refund, even though I file each year? My J1 contract ends next year. Would I have to go home without getting it? I really would like to know if there's nothing I can do about it. Princess, I am not a tax expert. You got to speak to a tax expert about that. Niak Ikenum. After submitting my DS-260 form, what would be next for me and wait for an interview? My other question is, what if my name is spelt wrong on my filing, but my passport has the correct spelling? What's your advice? A, contact the National Visa Center and let them know of your correct name. Okay, make sure it's corrected. Because if you show up to an interview and your passport has one name and your paperwork has another, obviously you're going to have a problem. And number two, what's next is if you have done all of the DS forms and you've submitted all your documents, including the affidavits of support and the police certificates and everything else, they're going to transfer your case to a U.S. Embassy for an interview. Hopefully that interview will happen as soon as this COVID is up. Abdul Lawai, good evening, Uncle Brad. My wife is an American citizen. She filed for me and my son, and our case is still pending. She also added me when filing her tax return. We want to know why she and her son was denied for a stimulus check. Because she's not in the United States. And until she is a lawful resident, she's not entitled to a stimulus check. She's not even here yet, and you didn't even have to include her on the tax return. That's why. Let's see what else we have here. I'm doing this. If I see any other quick question, let me see if I can get one more quick question in. Okay, last question. Viaj Kurana. Hi, Brad. I have a green card last year, and I applied for my son and daughter. They both case in the National Visa Center. The visa category is IB1, I guess IR1. Priority date March 2017. My daughter, I guess, is 23 years old. My son, B1, B2. If he comes here, can he adjust status? But he turned 21 last month. If the I-130s were filed before they were 21, they are immediate relatives. They're immediate relatives for life under the Child Status Protection Act. And yes, they would be able to adjust if they came on a visitor's visa, provided you file the adjustment more than 90 days after they came here. Thanks for watching. For more Brad Show Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.